Welcome to Glystn. Here you can get AI insights from social data. So you can think of Glystn like a ChatGPT or Claude. However, instead of grounding its answers in what it was trained on, it grounds it on live social data. So this is great for brands and agencies and people looking to add a little bit of creative context or research to their social data. The way it works is very simple. You can ask any question that you want, like you would a regular LLM, and it'll answer with social data. So as a starting point, we have a couple sample prompts depending on what you're looking for. So if you have no idea where to start, you can choose one of these, or you can come in and just ask a generic question. And you just go ahead and run that. Glystn, for every query, basically breaks down what you ask, and it does its best to find matching posts. So in this case, it's using our ability to pull high-performing posts with a floor of 100 likes so that we know that we're getting good posts from different fashion angles. So it kicks off 6 different queries to go into those. It then starts diving into its methodology and insights that it found. So for a generic thing like fashion, obviously we are going to get a pretty good landscape of what's going on in social right now. Key insights are shown. Obviously spring summer season is starting. Budget fashion is dominating. Again, this is all in viral posts, which we can see up top here. These posts all performed incredibly well. Thrifting, effortless, cool, stuff like that. So you can see different angles if you truly have nowhere to start. Now, what's cool about Glystn is it always gives you its opinions. It kind of knows what's going on. So what's surprisingly not trending, it noticed there was a lack of designer clothes being mentioned. Athleisure is entirely absent, and there's tensions that it noticed. So by default, Glystn is prompted to look for these specific things. Inside each query that you ask, you can always come down and see which posts are driving that specific conversation. Now, this is really cool. Because like we said, all of its answers are grounded in social data. So if you want to figure out exactly what is driving something, you can just come in here and see those. You can also click to filter into any given creator and see the posts in their results that showed up. So this is great for discovering and vetting people as well. You can ask follow-up questions like you would a normal LLM. For example, tell me more about the festival culture. What's going on? What went surprisingly viral? Obviously, we know Coachella is going on right now. So it seemed to notice that naturally, and you can basically dive in. So without us asking, right, it figured out that Coachella was going on because that was in the original posts. It pulls up outfit ideas, it pulls up brands that showed up, etc. And so you can dive in and see very specific things about the formulas that creators were using. You can see how this might apply to a bunch of different types of work. For example, it's noticing that this formula that tends to go viral is outfit reveal each day, with people building the entire content series around that. You can see why it's viral. There's obviously the Bieberchella. So this is picking up on things that we know to be true from these festivals, but if you have no idea what's going on, this is a really good way to step in and see what exactly is driving it. And again, you can always specifically go and see the viral post driving a particular one. So that's mostly it for the chat. You can continue asking questions to probe as deep as you would like in the chat. My personal favorite feature of Glystn is you can come in and see the post driving a particular thing. So these are Coachella Get Ready With Me outfit prep videos. And if you find one that you think is interesting, for example, this is a Get Ready With Me for Coachella Day 2. On any post, you can click this Find Similar, which is going to kick you over to the Feed tab. Now, the Feed is another popular feature in Glystn that basically allows you to find similar semantic posts for any given thing. So if you want to validate a trend, you can jump into the feed to do this. So you can see that post that we chose, and then you can see all these other Get Ready With Me for Coachella Day 2 videos. What's really interesting about this is it lets you see how viral on average these things are. So the one that we chose was viral. There was one other viral one. And of course, there's a third one here, but in general, there's a lot of average performing videos, which is interesting to note. If you want to track any given query, the other cool thing about Feed is that you can track searches. So if we were to do this, it would be Coachella creator list, and we could make a list. And tracking this would basically allow us to monitor that query. So what you can do with a list is track search terms, you can score creators in there, and you can stay up to date automatically. So what that means is you have a feed tracking this. You also have creators if you make that, and you can stay up to date. So if you do stay up to date, which we'll do that for right now, we can focus on outliers in the Coachella creator list, and it'll basically send us a custom newsletter every Monday. That is one of the most powerful features of Glystn because, as you saw in there, you can actually tune the prompt that it runs to exactly what you're looking for. So if you're trying to automate brand intelligence, topics and conversations, creative strategy, or just a custom prompt that you want looking at that search term every week, you can do this here, and we handle all the infrastructure for you. I'll show you what that looks like in a second. Oh, here it is, just loaded in. So you can basically see Coachella dominated, but one post broke everyone's algorithm. So you can see basically what was popular. Basically read all these posts and wrote this for you. Real breakouts were niche angles, etc. You can click any of these creators to see like which festival outfit post that they made, stuff like that. So this feature is really powerful for staying up to date on specific things. You can also, of course, vet creators in here. So if we came in here and we wanted to rank people, sell my product at a music festival, fun, engaging, conversational. We could go ahead and rank all of those creators. So back to the feed, you can also use this to just emergently explore specific things through filters. So for example, if you just wanted to see outliers that are popular, that are videos in the past month, the feed allows you to do that as well. And what that allows us to do is see what's been blowing up. And obviously the most viral things seem to have been Coachella, which we know is a huge pop culture moment, and a couple of other, looks like random memes and stuff like that. So this is a good way to emergently explore. For example, here's something about Logan Paul. You can do the same, find similar. So if you're browsing for social trends, this is a really good tool to do that. And the next thing that I'm going to show you is the trends tool. So the trends tool is basically Glystn's way of saying, hey, this is what's going on emergently in social. So we look at all the posts that we have access to, and we group those for you each week and give you a digest so that you can see what's going viral, what's going popular that week. A lot of these things probably seem timely and familiar. Obviously, the Artemis 2 moon completion just finished and went really viral. Basically, what this is saying is that top posts in here performed at 400% better than the creator's average. So this is a really good cluster. And you can go ahead and click into any specific trend and see what exactly happened, what moment triggered reactions, what went popular, and you can ask any questions that you want about these trend posts in the chat. You can also see the history of story threads. So this one started back when it launched the week of March 30th, and then of course it finished, and now there's a conspiracy pushback, which is the type of angle that you get when you look at social, which can be really interesting. And so you can see the top post driving here, like I showed you before. If you wanted to track this, you could do the same find similar thing to get back to the feed, and then track that search in a list that you were interested in. The other thing about trends is you can make your own trend board. So if you're interested in a brand or a niche or something like that, and you want to get at the scale of these style queries, trend boards are a really good way to do that. So for example, if you're curious what people talk about when they mention Amazon, for example, we can go ahead and run that query. And if we click that, it will load for a little bit here. And once it's done, you can see the power of trend boards. So this is telling us, hey, what has happened in Amazon in the last 30 days? How many posts did we find? What went viral in those posts? This is obviously, there was not a lot of viral posts, but we can look and see which specific ones blew up. So the spring sale had a couple of really popular posts. There's a whole budget home makeover section in Amazon. There's the at-home beauty subsection. There's shopping hacks, stuff like that. So for any given thing that you put into a trend board, you get a really good overview. It pulls in whatever news is happening. It seems like this tied to massive layoffs that happened recently, and so you're able to pick up basically what's happening on social around these things. You can also dive into specific categories, so what's happening in Amazon shopping. You can dive into beauty, comedy, basically whatever shows up. We will show those categories to you, and you can use that as a way to basically explore and quickly get to know a space. Same thing as before, you can of course dive into any given topic, see the posts, see the creators, see the posts that went viral. So the whole thing at Glystn here is figuring out how do we always show you evidence to ground our AI insights. And so here are only the viral posts about Sheglam's one-touch airflow curler. So just to recap, Glystn, there's a lot that you can do, but at its core, it's actually pretty simple. You have chat to ask any questions that you find. This is basically your fastest way to get an answer. You have trends, which is your core way of getting deeper answers. So if you're trying to validate something or research a brand or do something at scale, trends is a really good spot to start with that. It's integrated into chat like we showed, so you can ask any questions that you want. We also have monitor, which is great for basically tracking specific terms over time. So like we said, when you set up a monitor, you can put multiple search terms in here and you can set up a weekly digest. So that'll keep you up to date on different search terms. This is great if you are a brand or agency working on a project and you want to see the impact of some changes that you made, or if you want to stay up to date. We also have feed, which is a good way to visually explore what's going on. You can search in feed for Fortnite, for pretty much anything you want. So you can search semantically, you can search for keywords, you can find similar. So this is a good way to poke around on viral posts. And yeah, that's the gist of Glystn.